Good evening, India. This is Times Now. You're watching the Newshour. My name is Pranesh Roy. Prime Minister Modi has always reminded the nation that there is a profound lack of pride in Bharat's Bhartiyata and that we must be proud of Aatmanirbhar Mazboot Bharat. So as India celebrates Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the government in a historic decision has renamed the Mughal Gardens in Rashtrapati Bhavan. It will now be called Amrit Udyan. The opposition is incensed. The outrage is on the lines of what we saw when the Modi government renamed Rajpath or Kingsway as Kartavya Path, in what is being seen as an effort to remove the colonial vestiges and the hangover. This comes after the government decided to review the monuments of national importance. Now, this is not the first time the Modi government has done a surgical strike on colonial symbols. Long after the Britishers left, our leadership was not able to decolonize its minds. What can be a bigger example than the fact that till 1968, King George V's statue stood under the canopy near India Gate. 75 years after independence, that canopied pedestal houses a gigantic statue of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose in what is a fitting tribute to the founder of the Indian National Army. So it comes as no surprise that Mughal Gardens have been renamed. While the BJP has welcomed this move to purge remnants of the colonial era, the opposition has branded this as malified act and agenda to rewrite history. In fact, some in the opposition have even gone on to communalize the move by alleging Islamophobia.
This historic decision should be celebrated by one and all. But instead we find that some parties, which are prisoners of the politics of vote bank, that are slaves of this mindset of vote bank politics, opposed even this decision. They are the same people who opposed the decision of Rajpath being named as Kartavya Path. They opposed the installation of a tall statue of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. They are the ones who time and again oppose any attempt by India to reclaim and to be proud and celebrate its cultural legacy, its सांस्कृतिक विरासत.
मेरा मानना यह है कि अगर नाम बदलने की ही सियासत आपको करनी थी तो फिर जो जनता से वादे आपने किए थे वो नहीं करने चाहिए थे। और मुझे तो ऐसा लग रहा है कि आने वाले टाइम में महात्मा जी का नाम बदलकर महात्मा गांधी की जगह जो है मोदी को गांधी बना दिया जाएगा और लोग फिर जो है बाबा कौम जो है या राष्ट्रपिता मोदी जी को कहना शुरू कर देंगे, क्योंकि इसी तरह की हवा बना रहे हैं।
इतिहास के पन्ने फाड़ने से इतिहास बदला नहीं जा सकता है। मुगल गार्डन जिन लोगों ने बनाया था उन्होंने इसका नाम मुगल गार्डन रखा था। आप अपना गार्डन बनाइए, आप जो नाम चाहें वो रखिए। आप समझते हैं कि सड़कों का नाम बदलना, शहरों का नाम बदलना, गार्डन का नाम विकास है। इसे कोई विकास नहीं मानता है। ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। राष्ट्रपति भवन आज भी हमारा राष्ट्रपति उसमें रह रहा है, क्या आप उसको डिमोलिश करेंगे? प्राइम मिनिस्टर जिस घर में रह रहे हैं वो अंग्रेजों ने बनाया था, क्या उसे डिमोलिश करेंगे? क्या आप लाल किले का नाम बदलेंगे? ताजमहल का नाम बदलेंगे? और इस बीजेपी से कोई उम्मीद भी नहीं है, नाम बदल भी सकते हैं। अब वो यही समझते हैं कि नाम बदलना ही बड़ा काम है। इतिहास के पन्ने फाड़ने से इतिहास बदला नहीं जा सकता है। मुगल गार्डन जिन लोगों ने बनाया था उन्होंने इसका नाम मुगल गार्डन रखा था। आप अपना गार्डन बनाइए, आप जो नाम चाहें।
This will not help in any way. आप अपना मुगल गार्डन बनाइए, says Rashid Alvi of the Congress party. Let's quickly open this up. Sanju Verma, the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Rahul Ishwar, activist, political analyst, Sushil Pandit, needs no introduction, Riju Datta, spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress, Lokesh Jindal, leader of the Congress party, Ravi Srivastava, political analyst, completes the panel. Good evening to all of you. I want to begin with you, Mr. Sushil Pandit. Now, you've heard the whole host of reactions from opposition. They are saying that why don't you make another garden and call it what you want to? Why are you renaming this?
You must ask them, why did they rename Curzon Road to Kasturba Gandhi Marg? Why did they rename Wellington Crescent to Mother Teresa Crescent? Why were the renamings done earlier? ये राजपथ और जनपथ अंग्रेजों के बनाए हुए सड़कें थी, इनका नाम राजपथ और जनपथ नहीं रखा था उन्होंने. They did not call them राजपथ और जनपथ. We called them राजपथ and जनपथ. So colonial symbols must go, symbols of slavery must go, and celebrating slavery must go. Mughal Gardens were not made by Mughal Gardens. Britishers made this entire edifice. It was called Viceregal House. Rashtrapati Bhavan was renamed by us. And if Viceroy had named them Mughal Gardens, we are very much within our rights. We changed the names of the hospitals. It was Wellington Hospital. It has been now called Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital. There was Irwin Hospital. We called it Lok Nayak Jayaprakash Narayan Hospital. Name changes have been happening through the decades. Lots of names have changed. Lots of names remain to be changed. And those must be changed. As the times change, as our consciousness grows, we must remove each symbol of slavery, each symbol of colonialism. An upright, self-confident nation must create its own symbolism, must create its own nomenclature, must change everything to suit Indian native civilizational culture. Our identity must be restored to what it was, what it has been, and not how it was distorted.
Ravi Srivastava, I'm coming to you. Let me bring in Lokesh Jindal. Lokesh Jindal is smiling. Lokesh Jindal, you don't agree with the distortion bit or the colonial hangover bit?
It was laughable. See why it was called as Mughal Garden, because the theme on which the nature of garden it was a Mughal theme. It was the Mughals who introduced fountains, waters, some form of a system whereby the water flows. There are 4 portions in it, and it was being cornered with flowers and all. That entire theme was introduced by Mughals. It was Babur who had introduced this theme. That's why it was named as Mughal Garden. It's not about colonialism. He gave a big speech on vestiges of colonialism and all. No, yoga is yoga. You can, if tomorrow Western countries, they start renaming it, it still will remain yoga. So this entire garden that was built, it was built upon the theme of the Mughals, a Mughal garden, which you see in Humayun's tomb, which you see in Taj Mahal. It was a theme garden, and it remains a Mughal garden. Even if you call it a Amrit Udyan, what happened was, an original Indian heritage is made into a cheap sasta wala form by this renaming. The heritage that we had inherited from our history is now being distorted, and the entire legacy is gone.
No, Amrit Udyan is cheap sasta wala for you.
You have ended up destroying a work of classicism and
I am, 1 minute, Lokesh Jindal, 1 minute, sir, 1 minute. I am only pointing out your choice of words. Cheap sasta wala. आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव चल रहा है, अमृत उद्यान नाम रख दिया गया, आप इसको चीप सस्ता वाला बोल रहे हैं.
No, the point is it's a heritage that came to us from history. It was not something that was built right now. When it's a heritage that has come down to us from history, a pattern, even if you go at Alfred Museum, over there in Alfred Museum, there are carpets that are kept. The Persian carpets, which are based upon themes. Now you cannot keep changing names of everything and destroy the historical legacy.
Prove to me, Mughals
because what has happened is history has fallen into wrong hands. These people, they don't know anything about
Sushil Pandit is responding to you. Sushil Pandit. Sushil Pandit is responding to you. Listen to him, then you can respond.
Pranesh.
No, this cheap sasta wala argument doesn't merit a response, but for the sake of your viewers, I must say, Mughals came from Uzbekistan and they came via Afghanistan. You don't see so-called Mughal gardens either in Uzbekistan or in Afghanistan.
Sir, in
These
Samarkand,
were
there
possible
were
only here because there was water.
In Samarkand, sir, you are wrong.
There are no Mughal gardens in Samarkand. Have you been to Samarkand?
Have you been to Bukhara?
Have you been to Bukhara? Have you been to Samarkand? There are no Mughal gardens there.
Sir, listen to me. After Samarkand, when Babur he
no
came
Mughal
to
gardens in
Kabul,
Samarkand,
at that
in
point
Bukhara.
of time he built gardens. Following this, when he came to Lahore, he built gardens. In Lahore, there are
no
gardens.
Mughal
There are
gardens in
Shalimar
Kabul.
Bagh
but be that
gardens.
as it
There are
may,
gardens,
Lokesh
gardens.
Jindal, be that as it may, how does it make Amrit Udyan cheap sasta wala?
Correct.
How does it make Amrit Udyan cheap sasta wala, Sanju Verma?
Cheap, sasta wala
Yes.
argument.
Because you have renamed an entire legacy into some form of a modified version. It is almost...
Okay.
Pranesh,
Sanju Verma is responding to you. Cheap sasta wala.
Can I explain?
may I please?
I am coming to you.
I've
Ravi
been
Srivastava, I
waiting
am
for
coming
my
to you. Sir,
turn.
aa raha hu aapke paas.
Okay, I've waited patiently for my turn. Now let me respond to what the Congress panelists said. Let's be very clear that the prerogative to name the Mughal Gardens, vests with the president / the government of the day, in this case Narendra Modi. So constitutionally, there is nothing that is out of turn or out of context. Now, people who are lecturing us कि इतिहास के पन्ने बदलने से इतिहास नहीं बदल जाता. I was listening to Rashid Alvi a few minutes back on your show. I am reminded of that famous saying, those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it, by Edmund Burke. But more importantly, I am reminded of Napoleon Bonaparte's saying. He said, history at times is nothing but a bunch of lies agreed upon. And for too long, for many decades, we've been teaching a leftist-oriented history to our children. I don't know what our grandchildren, the coming generations will learn. But today on your show, I must say this. This is the same lot which had a problem when Allahabad was renamed to Prayagraj. This is the same lot which had a problem when Aurangzeb Road was renamed as APJ Abdul Kalam Marg. This is the same lot which had a problem when Faizabad was renamed as Ayodhya. This is the same lot which has a problem with the new Central Vista, the new Parliament building, because the old Parliament building, forget about the fact that it is dilapidated and it's not fully earthquake resistant. It was built, more than 95 years back by Herbert Baker and Edwin Lutyens. So what if the Modi government is engaging in decolonization? In 2017, we decided we will not have a separate railway budget and union budget, which was a colonial practice. We decided we will have both the railway and union budget consolidated, merged together. And that is the practice that we follow now. The Modi government has eradicated over 1,500 archaic British-era colonial laws that no longer stand the test of time. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Also, be it the Kashi Vishwanath corridor, be it the Mahakal Ujjain corridor, why is it that no government did even this much to restore our, proud heritage?
Right.
Have you forgotten?
Now,
just 10 seconds. Have you forgotten? Pranesh, can I just finish in 10 seconds?
Quickly.
Have you
Yes,
forgotten
Sanju Verma, make your point.
that the Somnath temple was first destroyed in 1999, 1299, when the Delhi Sultanate was established in Gujarat. Then the Somnath temple was destroyed in 1394. Then Aurangzeb again destroyed the Somnath temple
Right,
in
we have that
1706.
timeline. That is clear. I get the point you're trying to make. Riju Datta, you wanted to come in, but a quick response. Lokesh Jindal, I am sure you want to respond to. Let me quickly read out. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, who's a regular on the panel, he's not joined today, but let me read his tweet. He says, changing the name of the famous Mughal garden to Amrit Udyan only satiates the ego of Hindutva ecosystem. अब ये चीप सस्ता वाला लॉजिक मेरे समझ में नहीं आया सर. इसको ये हिंदुत्व इकोसिस्टम से कहां से जोड़ रहे हैं?
पंडित साहब ने कहा था कि समरकंद में कोई गार्डन्स नहीं है, तो लेट मी टेल यू, it was Amir Temur who had started making gardens in Samarkand. Please get your facts right, sir. Please do not speculate like this on national television. Now, when you talk about Amir Temur, he was the one who started with Samarkand gardens. And these were popularized, built and developed by... please moderate. Please don't ask him to not to interrupt.
No, he's only responding to you. He says there is no Mughal garden as of now.
Ask him to respond when I'm done. When I'm done, ask him to respond then.
Yes.
So it was with Babur, with Jahangir, Akbar, Shah Jahan that these forms of cultures, they evolved with an Indian blend. So when you're talking about these gardens, they were legacy, whether it is Shalimar Bagh, whether it is Lahore Gardens, whether it is the garden outside Humayun's tomb. These all were legacies which had an Indo-Persian and Uzbeki blend. And they were
उस blend को change कर दिया ना सर, उस blend को change कर दिया and to reflect the right blend अमृत उद्यान कर दिया, तो क्या problem है?
No. It was a difference. When outside, wait, let me complete. When the Rashtrapati Bhavan was being built, it was in 1910s that the entire, I'm forgetting the name of the architect. At that point of time, he blended Mughals, Buddhists, and all forms of architectural heritage and evolved a hybrid out of it. Even the tomb that you see on the Rashtrapati Bhavan is inspired by the Buddhist stoop. So when I'm talking Bhavan in itself, the use of stones, the bases, plinth, superstructure, the forms of murals.
Now he's saying all this to pad up his stand. But I don't think that the last bit is relevant here. The Sushil Pandit, he made a direct attack on you. Respond. Coming to you, Rahul Ishwar, Riju Datta in this order. Coming to you.
No. So there were gardens in Babylonia also, the hanging gardens of Babylonia. That was in civilizations or history long ago. Point
Sir,
is,
it's 14th
nobody's
century I'm
destroyed
talking
these
about
gardens,
in Samarkand.
nobody's destroyed these domes, nobody's destroyed these Gothic pillars. I'm not done yet. I didn't speak when you were speaking. The point is, those buildings are intact. Those domes are intact. Those Gothic pillars are intact. That European architecture is intact. We have only named them to suit our convenience. India Gate remains intact. Gateway of India remains intact. Those canopies remain intact. But the statues under those canopy will change because they have to suit our national needs.
What is the convenience?
This is clear.
Just add.
Roads like Curzon Road is intact.
Okay, let me bring in Riju Datta. Riju Datta, Ravi Srivastava, both of you have been patient. I'll come back to you. Rahul Ishwarji, I'm coming back to you. Riju Datta has a point. Yes, sir.
Coming to me, I hope you'll give me the same courtesy of time. See, I want to be very clear as the national spokesperson of Trinamool. I cannot care less about the Mughals, neither I care about the British, neither I care about the incompetent hypocrites making these decisions of changing the names of roads and gardens. I can't care less about them. What I care about is my country right now. यहाँ पर लोगों के पास खाने के पैसे नहीं है because of the inflation. They have no jobs और हम garden खेल रहे हैं.
Achha.
You know, these are the...
Don't lie. I think you're confusing Indian economy with
No, let him please have his say. No, 1 minute. Let's extend him this courtesy. No, please. Sanju Verma, let's not talk over him, please. I'll come back to you for a response. Let him have his say. No, this is not right, please. Let Riju Datta have his say.
Thank you. And why I call them hypocrites? Somebody was lecturing about shedding the colonial baggage. Let me remind them. The day after Rajpath was renamed as Kartavya Path, just the very next day, the Queen of England passed away and our Vishwaguru declared one full day of mourning. We consider it as a mark of respect. But some say
there is something called diplomatic courtesy.
Two ways of looking at it. I have not understood.
No. Okay, let him finish. Sanju Verma, I'm coming to you. You note down the point. I'm coming to you. You respond to him. Give him 30 seconds, please. Sanju Verma, please.
Okay. Now my question is, where is the employment in this country? Nobody is talking about that. We are talking about our roads.
But sir, how does this affect employment?
We are talking about Amrit, you said Amrit Ka Mahotsav chal raha hai. Only 1%.
आजादी का अमृत का महोत्सव नहीं चल रहा है, आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव चल रहा है.
अरे जो चल रहा है, चाहे का महोत्सव. Employment all time high, 45-year high employment rate. Inflation all time high.
Okay, so you're saying the government has its priorities completely messed up. Okay, Sanju Verma, respond to that. Okay. Sanju Verma.
You know, Pranesh, I think that Trinamool Congress spokesperson, his love for Pakistan is so much he confused Pakistan and India. Perhaps Pakistan में खाने के लाले पड़े हुए हैं. Vegetable inflation is negative 15% in India. All vegetables are at 20-30 rupees a kg. Inflation in food products is at an all-time low. Please, पढ़ लिख कर आया करो debate पर. Don't shoot off your mouth without knowing a clue about the latest inflation
his limited point is only on the priority that while all this, symbolic move is okay, you must also care about the people. That is what he's saying.
Pranesh, in 2013, Mamata Banerjee...
Let's not talk over each other, please. Both of you are talking at the same time. Riju Datta, you asked a question. Sanju Verma is responding to that. Okay. He wants to add to it. Sanju Verma, 1 minute. Supplementary. Okay.
Sanju ji, we have had hundreds of debates together. I cannot care less about Pakistan. Pakistan can go to hell for all I care. I am saying my countrymen...
Pakistan is already in hell, sir. Ab kahan bhej rahe hain usko? Ho gaya. Why are we talking about Pakistan here?
My countrymen are buying...
Let's speak on the topic, please.
Okay. Sanju Verma, quick response. Rahul Ishwar coming to you after that. Sanju Verma, please keep it brief.
Okay. Let me now say this. In 2013, not too long back, barely a decade back, the new Park Street was renamed by Mamata Banerjee as Hafiz Ali Khan Sarani. Deshapriya Park was renamed as Shyamal Mitra Sarani. Then there was the Raj Ganga Road off the EM bypass. It was named as Salil Chaudhary Sarani. So let me tell you, जब ममता बनर्जी करे तो सही है, जब मोदी सरकार करे तो आपके पेट...
No, he's saying something. Riju Datta, is what Sanju Verma saying true or false?
It is
absolute.
What do you mean?
I don't know where to get this. What do you mean? Google. I'm saying all the viewers
this
of
is the Times of India.
No, is it right or wrong? Riju Datta, is it right or wrong?
Article dated 2013. Times of India.
I am categorically saying to the viewers of Times now, the biggest Christmas carnival of India is in West Bengal. The Durga Puja Bengal at the very
Just on this limited point about 1 minute on changing the name, is Sanju Verma right or wrong? Just on that point.
This is the
I belong from Calcutta and for the ruling government. I don't know anything of this.
He does not know. Sanju Verma, give him that benefit of doubt. He does not know, and even if they did, because Riju Datta would say that there is prosperity in Bengal, so you can change names. That's okay. Okay, Rahul Ishwar. I'm only saying that if you were to extend it, I am not saying you would say that.
Pranesh, two submissions.
Yes.
One, every elected government has a right to rename legally. Along with that, every nation has a right to culturally reassert it. The very word Mughal comes from the ancient Mongol. It is not even a Muslim name. It comes from the ancient Mongols. And because they intermix later and we are using this word. India has suffered nearly 1,000 years of attacks from invaders. Right now, we have re-emerged as a very positive, strong nation. And when we want to assert the cultural right, should it be respected? And this is celebration of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. It is Azadi, a very dear word which is used widely, and Amrit Mahotsav. And then they have named it Amrit Udyan. They also have a problem. See, the problem is
Amrit Udyan is sasta and cheap.
And that is the absolute disgraceful
That
thing.
is the problem.
I cannot imagine Mahatma Gandhi's party, Congress party spokesperson or leader saying cheap and sasta. Mahatma Gandhi fought for it. Our entire our freedom fighters fought for it. Using words like cheap and sasta is painful and provoking. Reassert our
Okay, Riju Datta has a question for you. Okay, let's have that. Let's have this going. Yes, Riju Datta, yes.
My question is this. Mughals ruled India. India, that is Bharat, survived और Mughal को बाहर निकाला. तब नरेंद्र मोदी जी नहीं थे. British ruled India. India survived और British को भारत से भगाया.
इसका क्या मतलब है?
नरेंद्र मोदी जी नहीं था. So what is this hula about Narendra Modi ji?
But this is not about Narendra Modi. The Udyan has not been named after Modi. Amrit Udyan.
Why BJP making it political? Why?
The BJP is saying that look, we are shedding our colonial vestiges.
BJP is in power. We will decide.
This is about Azadi.
And Sushil Pandit is not in BJP. Sushil Pandit is not in BJP. Even he is welcoming it. But there are but Riju Datta.
Keep whining. Keep sulking.
Okay, Ravi Srivastava. Now Ravi Srivastava is angry that we've not gone to him. Ravi Srivastava. Okay, Sushil Pandit, I'll come back to you, sir. If I don't go to Ravi Srivastava, he'll either change my name or the name of the show.
Yes. Thank you very much, Pranesh. Thank you very much. Now, first of all, I want to ask a question. What was the need for changing it? Nobody explains that. There is no, look, our somebody says Sasta. I tell you Sasta. I mean, let us leave aside all political party debate and all that. See, Amrit Udyan looks like an ordinary municipal garden. You know, the municipality makes a garden.
क्या बोल रहे हैं सर, क्या बोल रहे हैं? What are you saying?
Otherwise, you know, like iconic name,
No.
Mughal Garden. Iconic name, Mughal Garden.
यही तो problem है. This is the problem of mindset that Sushil Pandit was talking about. That Mughal is all, you know, Mughal to you is all grand.
No, we were suppressed.
Mughal to you is all splendor. You know, this is the problem. ये आप बोल रहे हैं सस्ता cheap municipal garden. क्या बोल रहे हैं sir? The garden hasn't changed. Only the name has been changed. The name has been changed. Is it not more inclusive? अमृत उद्यान में क्या प्रॉब्लम है बताइए? सस्ता है नाम?
No. I tell you a problem. See, Mughals ruled us for 500 years. Britishers ruled us for 200 years. Now, how we say that our culture is this, and their culture is also our culture. What Mughal culture is there, that is also our culture. What British culture is there, that is also our culture.
No, but they came and obliterated our culture, sir. No, one
Where is our culture coming from?
This is the mistake. No, this is the mistake. But this is the mistake. No, Ravi Srivastava, this is exactly, precisely the mistake which is also perpetuated in our textbooks. This is the problem. ये तो textbook की ये गलती है सर. Ravi Srivastava, I don't think. Okay, let me bring in Sushil Pandit. Sushil Pandit,
Please, can I come in?
is the Mughal culture our culture?
Pranesh?
No, can I come in?
Sushil Pandit, 1 minute.
Yeah, our culture, of course.
First of all, Mughals, first of all, Mughals were the invaders and they Quiet. Learn some history now.
सुन तो लीजिए सर, अब आप ये टिरनी है, ये जो कल्चर है जो आपने बोला मुगल कल्चर, ये टिरनी है, इंटॉलरेंस है, बोलने नहीं देंगे आप किसी को. आप ये देखिए, दिस इज पार्ट ऑफ दैट कल्चर दैट यू आर सेइंग इज आवर ओन.
थोड़ा सा
I am the last but not the least.
No, I am not saying that. You've made your point, sir. अब दूसरा भी तो सुन लेते.
I'm just
4 years.
So Mughals were invaders and they ruled for barely 300 years, not 500 years. I don't know where he has learnt his history. Number 2, शायद ममता बनर्जी थी जब मुगलों को भी हराया और ममता बनर्जी थी तब अंग्रेजों को भी भगाया, लेकिन ममता बनर्जी तब जरूर थी जब राजीव गांधी ने, when Rajiv Gandhi called Calcutta a dying city, then Mamata Banerjee was a parliamentarian under Rajiv Gandhi. She did not object. And the same Calcutta, when was renamed to Kolkata 22 years back, she did not object. Calcutta was the name given by Britishers to that city, and that name was changed to Kolkata. That Kolkata was declared a dying city by Rajiv Gandhi. The slums of Behala and Metiapur are stinking today.
Okay, response from Riju Datta. It's only fair that he gets a chance to respond to what you said. Yes, Riju Datta. Quickly, don't have much time on the show. Riju Datta, please.
As long as any of us on this panel or people of this country are having biryani, kebab and fish and chips, we will all have Mughal and colonial culture in India.
Can I come in, please?
So
Can I come in?
please
I need
stop having biryani. Please tell BJP then to tell people stop having biryani and kebab. Stop having fish and chips. Are who fish and chips is from British? Biryani and kebab are from the Mughals. So अभी Hyderabad बंद कर दो, Gujarat बंद कर दो, Kolkata बंद कर दो. What is happening?
No, but that's I'll tell you what is happening. It is the tolerance of the Indian culture, the Bhartiya culture. No, 1 minute. It is the tolerance of our Bhartiya culture is the reason we are still having the things that you just mentioned.
Stop it! Can you stop it? Let anybody who is any political party stop it. No, it is ingrained in us. It is ingrained in our Indian culture.
Okay. Last word to Rahul Ishwar. 30 seconds.
One submission. See, we are a culture which got enriched by various factors. Let us respect the history. Let us respect the past. We cannot change it. But we can build a good future by instilling a sense of pride in our past. And our past is great because we have freedom struggle. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. And right now when we are celebrating that Azadi and Amrit Udyan, please don't have a communal eye to it. Please don't have a vote bank eye to it. Please don't brand everything Islamophobia.
While Amrit Udyan, in the end, I would like to say this, while Amrit Udyan is cheap and sasta for some, Azadi was neither cheap nor sasta. We paid a big price for it, and let's not undermine the efforts of those who helped us achieve freedom. On that note, I thank all of you, Sanju Verma, Sushil Pandit, Rahul Ishwar, Ravi Srivastav, Lokesh Jindal, Riju Datta for joining us on Times Now.